We are finally getting a Metal Gear Solid movie. A film based on what might just be the most cinematic game series of all time. I want to talk about why I'm excited for this, what I want to see in a Metal Gear Solid film, but also some major concerns that I have with just the existence of one. Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, didn't they already announce a Metal Gear Solid film years ago? What's the big deal? Well, it was announced a few years ago, and it was a big deal. Oscar Isaac was set to play Solid Snake. It was going to be directed by John Voight-Roberts, who made Kong Skull Island, a film that no one, not even you, appreciates enough. I assume those facts were just thrown out the window because the movie was re-announced with a new directorial team aboard. Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein are now set to make the film, a team you may know from the recently pretty well-received Final Destination Bloodlines movie, which I didn't watch. I don't do spooky shit. But they also made their other spy thriller mega hit that will surely influence the Metal Gear project, Kim Possible, the movie. The news is still fresh, so we don't know much more than this. But it's awesome to hear because if you've played the game especially, you're probably thinking just like me, how has this not been made yet, right? I mean, the Metal Gear franchise is touted as a game series that really defined modern cinematic storytelling in video games, and it continues to do so in such creative and unique ways. Go back and watch the opening hospital scene from The Phantom Pain and tell me that that's not great filmmaking. Look, I'm not saying that we're gonna get a Psycho Mantis scene in the movie where he reads your mind and tells you what films you like. Ah, I see you like the film Over the Hedge, starring Bruce Willis as a raccoon. You truly are a student of the art form. Even if that's not the case, there's so much franchisable content per se, within the series. You have the moment-to-moment tense international spy intrigue and stealth action that can work, and I know it can work because they do very similar stuff in the recent Mission Impossible movies, and those films absolutely rip. Yes, even this one. But you also have the weirder parts of the universe that make the series stand out. For example, vampires, clones, haunted cyborg ninjas. A rich history of the Metal Gear Solid family, you could call it, between Solid Snake and Big Boss, that could be explored across multiple films and prequels. And we know that can work because it has worked. The series will jump from a protagonist to a different protagonist to a completely different era, and the overarching story still somehow ties them together. The Metal Gear Solid series stands out because of not just its political international spy thriller thing it's got going on, but it dips its toe into those weirder sci-fi elements, those jumps in time. You're constantly seeing new stuff, you're constantly staying engaged in a way that I think will translate so well to film. But those light-grounded sci-fi elements in particular are a good transition into my concern with a film adaptation of these games at all. And that's the fact that much of the weirdness of those games work because of this guy. Hideo Kojima and his team film the game in such a unique way, with a lot of weird angles, long shots, slow-mo, actor names appearing whenever a new character is introduced. I'll be honest, I don't know if Hollywood has the balls to do that. To make a film that captures that same feeling, that same unique camera work that sets the games apart. Will Snake have that David Hayter-esque gravelly voice? Metal Gear. Cyborg Ninja. Because you gotta assume that Oscar Isaac is no longer attached to the project. How do you even cast a character like that? Someone who, small spoiler alert if you haven't played the games, has to play a guy across a lot of time if this does indeed become a franchise, which it should. Who do you think would make a good Solid Snake, or a Big Boss, or a Venom Snake? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. My guess is gonna be on a younger guy, okay, look, I'm just saying, I think Glenn Powell could work. Hot take, I know, don't come at me. I feel like he can pull off the weirder, more comedic elements of the film. Give him an eye patch and a bandana, maybe dye his hair, make him say, "I'm no hero, never was," and see how he does. But they'll probably just wind up casting an unknown, which is probably the best way to do it. I would love to see Solid Snake as Solid Snake, not look at Solid Snake and be like, oh, it's the guy from Top Gun Maverick. That's even if they go right to adapting the original Metal Gear Solid game as well. I personally think that's the best idea. It allows you to have a straight, tight, focused action film that's an hour and 45 minutes, while still giving you a taste of its weirder, more overarching story elements, like Liquid Snake, Ocelot losing his hand, Gray Fox, etc. And then double down on those things in a sequel or a prequel. Jump backwards to Metal Gear Solid 3. Or if they've got the kahunas in Hollywood, go to Metal Gear Solid 2. And if they ever make a Metal Gear Solid 2 film, they have a chance to do the funniest thing ever with its marketing. But what do you think? Who do you think should play Solid Snake? What do you want to see out of a Metal Gear Solid movie? Let me know down in the comments below, and for more movie chats like these over a cup of coffee, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.